Greetings, dear subscribers and casual listeners of my channel. Have you ever wondered why no one used the time turner to save Dumbledore? What if there was a way to prevent his death, but no one even tried? In today's video, you'll find out the real reason why the time turner couldn't bring Dumbledore back. When I first watched Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, one question kept nagging at me. Was there really no way to save Dumbledore? My friends and I left the theatre discussing every possible solution, and soon we had an idea. Why didn't Harry use the time turner? He had used it before, he knew how it worked, and Dumbledore meant so much to him. Wouldn't he at least try? But he didn't. Why? The time turner is a small hourglass on a chain that allows the user to travel back in time. In The Prisoner of Azkaban, Hermione used it to attend multiple classes at once. Professor McGonagall gave it to her as a special privilege. Later, she revealed its secret to Harry and Ron, and together they used it to save Buckbeak and Sirius Black. So why wasn't it even considered in the Half-Blood Prince when Snape killed Dumbledore? Harry was devastated. Dumbledore was more than just a headmaster to him. I couldn't stop thinking about this. After digging into the books and discussing with fellow fans, I found several possible answers. First, Dumbledore was already dying. He had destroyed one of Voldemort's Horcruxes and was cursed beyond healing. Maybe Harry understood that saving him would only delay the inevitable. Second, time travel in the wizarding world is dangerous. One of its biggest rules is that you can't interfere with your own past. Meeting yourself or changing major events could have catastrophic consequences. Perhaps Harry simply didn't know how to alter the timeline without making things worse. But even with these reasons, something still didn't add up. Then I found the real answer. In the Order of the Phoenix. During the battle at the Ministry of Magic, all the time turners in the Department of Mysteries were destroyed. That scene never made it into the movies, leaving many viewers unaware that time travel was no longer an option. So in the end, it wasn't a plot hole. It was just a missing detail from the films. It's fascinating to think about what might have happened if Dumbledore had survived. If the time turner had been an option, how would things have changed? Would the entire course of the war against Voldemort have taken a different turn? Dumbledore was not just a wise headmaster, he was the greatest strategist in the fight against the Dark Lord. He knew Voldemort better than anyone, understood his weaknesses, and had been secretly guiding Harry toward the final confrontation. With Dumbledore alive, would the hunt for the Horcruxes have been easier? Imagine if, instead of Harry and his friends struggling alone, they had Dumbledore's guidance every step of the way. He could have helped them locate the Horcruxes faster, perhaps even destroying them before Voldemort realized what was happening. The war might have ended much sooner. But then again, would Harry have grown into the hero he needed to become? So much of his journey was about stepping out of Dumbledore's shadow and making his own choices. If Dumbledore had been there, perhaps Harry would have relied on him too much. Maybe he wouldn't have been forced to become the leader he was meant to be. Still, there's something heartbreaking about the idea that Harry never even had the chance to try. If he had known about the destroyed time turners, he could have at least understood why saving Dumbledore was impossible. But in the movies, that knowledge was taken from him, and from us as viewers. It's also interesting to consider how other characters would have reacted if Dumbledore had survived. Snape, for one, might never have been fully revealed as a double agent. His sacrifice, his silent loyalty to Lily Potter, might have remained a secret until the very end. Without his tragic death, would Harry have ever understood the depth of Snape's love and regret? And what about Voldemort himself? Dumbledore was the only wizard he ever truly feared. If he had lived, would Voldemort have acted differently? Maybe he would have hesitated before launching his final attack on Hogwarts. Maybe he would have gone into hiding, waiting for another opportunity, knowing that as long as Dumbledore lived, he could never truly win. Or maybe, just maybe, Dumbledore would have been the one to personally face Voldemort in the end. It's a duel many fans would have loved to see. The greatest dark wizard of all time against the only man he ever respected. The fight would have been legendary. But then we have to ask, was Dumbledore's death necessary? J.K. Rowling has said before that he had to die, that it was essential for Harry's journey. Without that loss, Harry wouldn't have been pushed to take on his mission alone. There would always have been a safety net, someone to fall back on. Maybe that's why, even if a time turner had existed, Dumbledore wouldn't have wanted to be saved. He knew the risks of tampering with time. He knew that some sacrifices had to be made. And maybe, in his own way, he had accepted his fate long before it happened. Yet as fans, it's hard not to wish things had been different. The Harry Potter series is filled with loss, with moments that make us wish we could reach into the pages and change history. What if Sirius had never fallen through the veil? What if Fred had survived the battle? What if Harry's parents had never died? The Time Turner represents something powerful, the idea that we could undo the worst moments, fix what was broken, bring back those we lost. But in the end, that's not how life or magic works. Even in the wizarding world, some things are final. Some fates can't be rewritten. Still, I can't help but wonder, if there had been just one Time Turner left hidden away, forgotten by the Ministry, would Harry have used it? Would he have risked it all to bring Dumbledore back? And if he had, would the world have been better or worse for it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Would you have tried to save Dumbledore, or do you think his death was